Florida man now charged in connection to the series of pipe bombs mailed to critics of President Trump.
Police arrested 56-year-old Cesar Sayoc shortly after two more devices were intercepted today. The FBI is warning there could be more packages still out in the mail system undelivered. Sayoc has been arrested before in 2002 for threatening to throw a bomb. He was also arrested for theft in '92 and 2014. Investigators say DNA evidence, a fingerprint, helped them track down Sayoc in Plantation, Florida. Law enforcement searched his van. It's decked out with images of President Trump and Vice President Pence.
14 bombs were mailed this week to prominent Democrats, including former President Obama and Hillary Clinton. Today, authorities confirmed a suspicious package was sent to California Senator Kamala Harris. Harris is in town tonight for Spelman College's homecoming. 11 Alive's Joe Hankey is there live right now. Joe, she talked to students this afternoon. Did she mention the investigation about the bomb at all?
Jeff, she did not mention the investigation currently taking place right now in Sacramento as she spoke at Spelman College behind me today. Instead, she spoke directly to students here, tried to inspire young future leaders. And at several times during her speech, she did throw her support behind Stacey Abrams, the Democratic nominee here in Georgia's governor's race, but she did not mention that suspicious package in Sacramento. Her staff did tell me that they were informed of a trained postal employee identified a suspicious package at a post office in Sacramento this morning. Harris has 5 offices across California, including one in Sacramento. I'm told the package was addressed to the senator and is similar to those sent to other elected officials. Video from our NBC sister station in Sacramento showed FBI agents and bomb robots at the post office as they began investigating the package earlier today. No one was injured, but if you watch the confirmation hearing for now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, you'll recognize Harris, who opposed Kavanaugh in his hearing and is becoming a rising leader within the Democratic Party. Harris also did not have time today to meet with reporters. We could not ask her directly about that suspicious package. She is scheduled to remain in the Atlanta area, and tomorrow morning will be at a campaign event alongside Stacey Abrams in Riverdale. We'll send it back to you in studio.
All right, Joe Hankey from West Atlanta, thank you.
500 million, that's how many pieces of mail move via the United States Postal Service every day. And inside mailings and more near Wallapai and Elkhorn, you'll find mailboxes and packages ready to be shipped.
We have packing supplies and we will wrap and package.
The store works as a pickup point for USPS, FedEx, and UPS. Owner Neil Merrill taking safety very seriously.
We're not going to add our packaging to something that's completely wrapped. We want to know exactly what's going in the box if we're sending it out.
Recently, Neil has had to change procedures in the store in light of incidents regarding suspicious packages.
Since then, FedEx has required us to check IDs, so the sender, the return address, the name, matches up with an ID before we can ship it out.
Even law enforcement and fire departments here in the Valley working to stay safe themselves. Back in June, firefighters from Las Vegas Fire Rescue were given a first-of-its-kind training from the bomb squad on dealing with homemade explosives, ones that could be found in a package.
The safety of the community, but also the safety of the technicians and those first responders that go out there.
And nationally, we've learned dangerous mail inspectors with the United States Postal Service are looking out for the characteristics of suspicious mail, even using x-ray machines. But they say our mail is generally safe.
Parcels such as what we would consider a mail bomb in these situations of the past week, they're extremely rare.
And with the holidays right around the corner, that means more shipments across the country. Neil says that could create an increased risk.
So it's just more volume without necessarily that much more staff to go and keep an eye on things. So we need to be that much more vigilant. We are. We make sure.
And back out here live, the United States Postal Service also tells me that they have been putting up this poster in their mail rooms. It's a reminder to all employees, mailmen and women, to keep a sharp eye out for the signs of a suspicious package and to report it right away. For now, reporting live, Austin Carter, 13 Action News.
All right, Austin, thank you. And of course,
Michael, the FBI spent the bulk of this morning here investigating in this parking lot and also inside the AutoZone here, talking with an employee in there. But all of this happened extremely quick. From undercover to an enormous scene within minutes.
A second, the guy was at gunpoint.
That's how Tom Fiore, who works across the street, describes what unfolded at the Plantation AutoZone this morning.
A white male using what appeared to be binoculars, looking towards the AutoZone. So I thought it was a little weird.
He went outside when he saw a suspicious car that later turned out to be undercover police.
As I approached the vehicle, out of my left peripherals, I saw heard a loud bang and saw a very bright flash. We're circling a white van that was parked in the parking lot. It was backed in. It appeared that the suspect was laying on the ground next to the van. Was not fighting. He wasn't kicking and screaming. He was just stoic.
People working nearby evacuated as law enforcement checked the van.
It was like TV. I can't describe it to you. They were with it. We just saw this one gentleman come in with his badge and everything. We come out here within minutes. The whole place was just...
That van ultimately making its way to the FBI crime lab in Miramar. And right now there is a sign on the front door here at the AutoZone that says they are closed until tomorrow morning at 7:15 a.m. So far we've not heard from people inside AutoZone. We have only heard from the company that he was a customer, not an employee, Michael.
I've been able to independently confirm through one of my contacts that arrest was effected in Florida. One individual described to me as a male suspect, and that the plan at that time, it's very fluid, but the plan at that time was to bring the suspect to the main FBI office in Miami. I just want to kind of reset a bit, because late yesterday we were able to confirm through two sources that based on the postal tracking and postal markings on some of the packages, that Florida had been described to us as a region of interest in the investigation. And then shortly after that, we had federal agents as well as postal inspectors descending on a U.S. postal facility just outside of one of the Miami airports. We understand that they did a sweep of that postal facility as a precautionary measure, but then they also did a review of the CCTV footage specifically on the self-service mail kiosks inside that facility, the Opa-locka facility, and also surveillance footage from the surrounding businesses. I also want to add that what we've heard consistently in the last 72 hours is that there is this wealth of forensic evidence that was allowing the investigation to move quickly and also very aggressively. We were told today that they had taken the stamps as well as the other components of the bombs to the Quantico, Virginia FBI labs, and that they were looking at these stamps to see if they were finding traces of saliva, also other DNA, and that the investigation had progressed to the point that the FBI was reaching out to retailers. They didn't tell us the part of the country, but to retailers to see if they could identify the points of sale for components of the bombs as well as the packages built. So all of this now sort of coming into focus, that the investigation was moving, as we suspected, very clearly and quickly based on this wealth of forensic evidence, and now confirmation from at least one of my contacts that arrest was effected this morning. That arrest took place in Florida, and the suspect was identified to me as a male suspect.
Okay, we're looking at a picture here from Plantation, Florida. We're going to get to Phil Keating in a moment. Are you hearing some of the suggestions from some reporting could be that the person who was suspicious here could have had a grievance with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, because all these packages appear to have return addresses to her office in Sunrise, Florida. Have you looked at that yet and gotten a clear answer on that, Catherine?
I don't want to speculate on something that significant, other than to say that investigators have been very keyed in on the similarities in these packages. The manila envelopes, the interior bubble wrap, the excessive postage, the 6 American flag stamps that we've seen on all of the devices and the packages that have been recovered, similarities with the bomb, and then this return address to Debbie Wasserman Schultz that was misspelled. And remember, in the early days of this investigation, we had the reporting that the device sent to the former Attorney General Eric Holder, his office, it was returned because the address was not correct, and then it was rerouted to Debbie Wasserman Schultz's office. That was the office which was the return address. And if you remember, maybe we could bring up one of the photo images of the devices. When you look at it, you can see that it also uses this overly large black print. And the reason that's important is that I've heard from multiple sources that the large black block print on any of these devices often has an embedded coating, which can help investigators can't see it with the naked eye, but if you're looking at it forensically, it can help them identify the printer lots that were likely used to print those labels, and then you can get to a point of sale or a part of the country pretty quickly.
Interesting stuff. That's how they sort of piece it together, bit by bit. Catherine, thank you for that.
All right. Guys, sit down. Not behind the podium. Thank you very much. Take a step back. All right, guys. Everybody ready? Hold on. We have to let Miles go by. All right, guys, so we're going to be updating you on what happened here today. We will be taking no questions, okay? This is just an update.
Good morning. At approximately 8:15 a.m., an alert postal worker who was aware of a series of suspected pipe bombs and packages going through the mail recognized a package that postal workers across the country had been warned about and shown photographs of in the system here at Radio City Station. That postal worker was able to notify the U.S. Postal Police on scene here, who contacted the Joint Terrorism Task Force in the NYPD. This area was secured while service and the NYPD bomb squad responded. The package was isolated in the post office. The bomb squad was able to use their equipment to conduct an X-ray. Inside they saw what appears to be a pipe bomb consistent with other devices we've seen this week, contained in a package consistent with the packaging we've seen this week. It was addressed to an individual at a location in Manhattan. The bomb squad was able to safely remove that package with the device intact into the total containment vessel and transport that under highway escort to the NYPD range at Rodman's Neck, where it'll be placed in a secure storage area for the FBI, who will then transport it along with the other suspected devices we've seen this week to the FBI's lab in Quantico. With me I have Chief of Patrol Rodney Harrison and Deputy Assistant Chief Frank Galla from the Fire Department, and Chief Harrison will address the logistics of this operation.
So once we were notified about the device, we put a frozen zone in place. We evacuated a couple of the residents as well as the educational facility, which is right across the street, as well as the post office. At this time now, since the device has been removed, everything will be back up in play and up and running. As you can see, the streets are moving, and we want to ask all New York City residents to continue to stay alert, and if you do see something, call 1-888 New York City Safe. Thank you.
Just here again, we had no injuries, but we're here, the FDNY, to support our partners in the NYPD and law enforcement.
Just a housekeeping matter for those of you who are aware of it. There was another suspicious package operation involving a suspicious box that was found leaning against a tree in Central Park. That's been resolved. It is not connected to this or similar to this. It is also contains nothing hazardous, so that has also been resolved if you were following the developments in that end. I want to especially commend the work of the postal inspectors, but also the work of the 600,000 postal employees across the country who have been working within the postal system to locate these packages before they're delivered and to alert authorities. And this is an example on the part of one postal worker who, when she saw this, recognized it, froze it in the system, and was able to resolve that before it got delivered to a location in Manhattan. So very good work here. We're not going to be able to take questions, but thank you very much.
Thanks, Commissioner. Thank you.